Hey everyone, to wrap up our narrative writing series, we're going to create our very own digital storybook using a fun website called mystorybook.com. You'll get to be both the author and illustrator of your own creative adventure. Before we start creating our books, I want to show you the one I made. It's called Jake's Great Adventure. As I read it to you, I'll point out the transitional words I used to help the story flow and how I structured it with a beginning, middle, and end, making sure the events were sequenced in the correct order with details. This is the title page of my story. I gave it the name Jake's Great Adventure. I also picked a picture that matched my story. Since Jake is a cow who leaves the farm, I chose an outdoor image that fits the setting. When you make your title page, think about what your story is about and choose a picture that gives your reader a clue about the adventure inside. This is the beginning. We meet the main character, Jake, learn where he lives and what he wants to do. I use the phrase, "it all started when," to open up my story. The word so is a transition that helps show the cause and effect. He was bored, so he makes a plan. This begins the middle of the story. Jake puts his plan into action. The phrase "as soon as" tells us he did not waste time. It moves the story forward. Here, the setting changes and Jake's journey continues. As the sun came up, shows a change in time and adds to the mood of the adventure. This is where the excitement of the story begins. This is the big moment. Then is a strong transitional word that keeps the events moving in order. Now the adventure is winding down. Jake is ready to go home. Before long shows that time has passed. So, again, tells us what Jake does in response to how he feels. This is the end of the story. Jake returns and shares his journey. The transition word eventually tells us the trip back took some time. It's a great word for wrapping up the story with a conclusion. Now, it is time for you to create your own story. I will show you the steps you will need to take to create your own storybook. You will need to go to mystorybook.com. You will click on Start a Storybook, and if you are not already logged in, it will prompt you to log in and get help from your teacher or your parent. Once you are logged in, the website should redirect you back to the homepage where you will need to click Start a Storybook again. After clicking it, it will bring you to where you will begin your story. The first page you will create is the title page. You will type your story's title and choose a background that fits your setting. Your picture should match what your story is about and include the main character, just like mine did for Jake's Great Adventure. To add your picture, you will first need to select a scene. There are multiple options. Once you have chosen a scene, you will need to add your character or characters. You can add a person, editing the way they look, or you can even add items when animals and speech bubbles and buildings are also under items. Before you begin writing your first page, you will need to click Add Page. At the top of the page is where you will type your text. On your first page, you will need to introduce your character and what they want to do. Think about where they are and what they're planning. Be sure to include a clear beginning transition. Next, you will need to add another page or two and write the middle of your story. You use words like then, next, before long, or as soon as to keep things organized. Be sure that there are at least 2 events with details. Lastly, you will need to add another page to write your ending. How does your story wrap up? Use words like eventually or finally to finish strong. After you have written your story, you need to go back and add your illustrations. You will want to make sure that every page has a picture. Pick images that show your character or characters, setting, and action. Every page's picture should match what you were writing about on that page. When you are done, you are going to click Done Editing, and your book is complete. You are able to share it and even print it. I cannot wait to read everyone's story.